Get ready to cruise into a world of country music and lively conversation with The Dave Roush Show. Exclusively on Cruisin' Country Radio every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join host Dave Roush as he brings you the best of country tunes along with engaging interviews, entertaining segments, and a whole lot of fun. Whether you're a diehard country fan or just looking for a good time, tune in and The Dave Roush Show be your ultimate destination for Monday evenings. All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Dave Roush Show. That was X and Y by our incredibly talented guest for tonight. She's a rising star in the world of country music, and her songs are making waves across the charts. Please welcome Brenda Cay. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. You've been kind of taking the country music by storm so far, I think. Can you tell us a bit about how you got started and any particular artists in the moments that helped inspire you to help you on your path?
Sure. I started out actually as a songwriter, and about 4 years ago, decided to start recording and putting my own stuff out there, and just been working hard doing that. In terms of who's inspired me, gosh, so many artists, and not just in country, but always been a big fan of Terry Clark and Sarah Evans, so they're probably two of my bigger influences. Also really have always liked Kenny Chesney, so there's probably a little bit of that in there too.
Oh, I love Kenny. I love Kenny Chesney. He's one of my favorite country artists.
Yeah, me too.
So 4 years ago, you started just writing songs, right?
Well, I started writing probably, I don't know, a dozen years ago, but then, yeah, just started recording and releasing my stuff maybe about 4 years ago.
So anybody that, do you have a special recording company that you want to give a shout out to?
Not a recording company, but a couple of people that I work with. I have a good friend, Brian Brewer, who lately we've been recording out of his house. But he plays 90% of the instruments that you hear on my songs. And I work with some great people in Nashville. I have a drummer, Dango, and he's been playing drums more recently for me. Kristen Smith, who is my vocal producer in Nashville, and Austin Stanley, who is at Station West. He does all my mixing, and he's just phenomenal. And I just love working with all of them. They're so talented.
Nice. Yeah, there's a million people in Nashville that can hook you up, and it seems like in the interviews there's quite a few names that I haven't heard that people just use, and it's a really cool thing that everybody is able to find somebody to help them in Nashville with their career and get you more advanced and getting your songs heard.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your experiences. You're in Chattanooga, correct?
Correct.
Now, do you have any favorite bars and local venues that you like to go to there and perform?
I don't. Sadly, Chattanooga's not very big for country music. Being that close to Nashville, you would think that it is, but it's really not. So, no, I don't really do much playing out here.
Well, there you go. You've got to do some rock and roll then, right?
What's that?
I said you got to do some rock and roll then.
I might have to do that.
So that kind of defeats the purpose of your genre, right? I mean, I know we were talking earlier that I have a new country band forming, and
yeah,
I've been covering rock and roll songs my entire career for as long as I can remember, and it's just kind of cool now that I get to do what I really want. I love my genre. I love country music, and I love doing this right here. I love getting you guys on the radio and letting our listeners hear about your story. I mean, because everybody is different and everybody has some cool, unique things to talk about.
Yeah, and we appreciate you having us and letting us share it too.
Oh, I get a lot out of it too. It's fun for me, and it's fun for the listeners, and we just have a good time. My Harry T, my general manager, has been gracious enough to allow me to do this from down here in Mexico, and I'm just having a blast doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So how's Chattanooga? Cool.
Chattanooga is a great city. There's a lot to do here, especially if you like to be outside. There's Rock City, which is really cool. You can see, I forget if it's 5 or 6 states when you go up on the mountain up there. And it's really well designed. It's like a path that you can walk around. It's really neat. There's Ruby Falls and there's all the rivers around. So it's just, there's so much to do here. Like I said, especially if you like to be outside. We also have the Chattanooga Aquarium, which is amazing. Always like to go visit that.
Right. I love the landlocked states that have aquariums. But that's really cool because it's very educational, and the children have never seen a big fish or some type of aquatic animal get the chance to go and visit, and it's cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have the rivers, but we don't have, obviously we don't have the ocean here, so the kids can go in the aquarium and see the sharks and see the things that they wouldn't see otherwise.
That's really cool. Sharks are cool.
Yeah.
Well, we know that songwriting is a deeply personal process. So, what themes or experiences do you draw from when you're writing your music?
Oh, gosh, everywhere. Sometimes it could be a story that somebody tells me. It could be literally a line in a TV show or a movie that'll spark something, or t-shirts. Actually, I've seen lines on t-shirts that have sparked more than one idea for a song.
That's funny. Yeah, a lot of your
They come from everywhere.
well, a lot of your songs are really personal and kind of deep. I love your songs, and your music is amazing.
Oh,
But
thank you.
you're welcome. I see a trend in your music. Of deceit, not deceit, but heartache and love and a lot of personal experiences. Are those true stories, or are you just writing from your heart?
Some of them are true stories. They're not always my true stories. I guess that's um, like one of my songs, Remind Me of Me. My co-writer came to me with a story that he'd read about adoption, about a couple that had to give up a baby when they were young, and then in the end they were reunited with the child, and we decided to write this song called Remind Me of Me. And I was like, I just like being a storyteller. So to me, even though that's not my story, I thought, there are so many people out there that could identify with that. And we wrote it, and it turned out to be a really great song. It won first place in the American Songwriter, one of their lyric contests. And so, like I said, not all of the stories are mine, but they're definitely either based in truth or I can relate, because I actually have a friend that's adopted. So I feel like there are definitely things that I can relate to, even if they're not my story.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. I listened to Remind Me of Me, and I went, wow. Either you had a rough childhood, or or this is somewhere that you heard or something. But I mean, it Remind Me of Me really hits home, and with a lot of people, I'm sure when they hear it, they're like, wow, it's really deep, really um, heartwarming.
Thank you.
There's a lot of hope in there. It's not just all bad stuff. It reminds me
Yeah.
of a girl who is searched for her mom and can't find her, and hopes that you're like me.
Right. And I think when we were writing this song, I don't know that it touched on that in the article, but we just were sitting there going, gosh, what would you, how would it be if you were the kid that was adopted, and wouldn't you, like, your whole life? I said, I feel like you'd be, you know, everywhere you went, whether you're going to the mall or just walking down the street, would you be passing people going, gosh, you know, their eyes look a little bit like mine. Could that be, my mom or my dad, or, like, because you just don't know. And that was
Exactly.
kind of how we kind of came up with the song.
And to everyone out there that was fortunate enough to have parents that chose you instead of having you, but they chose you because they wanted to love you. Man, I'll tell you what, my hat's off to those people who do that adopt folks, because it takes a special person to adopt someone and care for them, not just a paycheck, but to really adopt someone and bring them into their family.
Right. And absolutely.
So I had another song pulled up, but we got into "Remind Me of Me." So guess what? Let's listen.
Okay.
Let's listen to "Remind Me of Me." So without further ado, Brenda Cay, "Remind Me of Me."
When I was 5 years old, they told me the truth. Now when I'm in a crowd, I can't help but look for you. I keep on holding on to two things as I've grown: the people who love me and the mom I've never known. Is your hair blonde like mine? Does it show off your dark brown eyes? And did it get your sense of humor? 'Cause mine's kinda dry. Do you have a crazy side? 'Cause there's nothing I won't try. I'm looking for a woman I feel like I've seen. I'll know when I find you. You'll remind me of me. Is your style a summer sundress or faded blue jeans? Do you look in the mirror and try to picture me? I've got no complaints, I've been given so much, but I often ask how come? How come you gave me up? Did you want me? Or did you wanna let me go? I'd like to think you did your best, but I may never know. Is your hair blonde like mine? Does it show off your dark brown eyes? And did it get your sense of humor? 'Cause mine's kinda dry. Do you have a crazy side? 'Cause there's nothing I won't try. I'm looking for a woman I feel like I've seen. I'll know when I find you. You'll remind me of me. Do you reminisce and wish you could change the past? And do you ask the same things I ask? Is your hair blonde like mine? Does it show off your dark brown eyes? And did it get your sense of humor? 'Cause mine's kinda dry. Do you have a crazy side? 'Cause there's nothing I won't try. I'm looking for a woman I feel like I've seen. I'll know when I find you. You'll remind me. Yes, you'll remind me of me.
Nice, man. I really like that song.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's like you said. I thought it was your song about your experiences. I was going to say, well, I hope you find your mom. And mom, if you're listening, no hard feelings, okay?
Yeah. That's the great thing about being a songwriter is we have the opportunity to tell other people's stories sometimes. So that's kind of cool.
Exactly. I was in the Florida Keys, and during COVID, when it just started, I was just getting into music, and COVID hit, and it was like, oh, put the brakes on. But I was talking with a record producer in LA, and he had sent me some music to put lyrics to, and he told me, he said, man, I don't know what to do. My wife's dad just passed, and he's in Germany, and my wife can't leave because nobody could leave the country.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, and her mom has dementia. I was like, oh
Wow.
my goodness. I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, she's going to somebody's funeral. She doesn't even know. And I kind of said out loud, I said, you're the only love I never forgot. And he was like, what? I said, and I had to pull over the truck right there, write it down. And I wrote that song. It's a dementia song. And then it just, that's writing. It hits you when it hits you, when you don't know.
It does. That's true. Yeah.
And it was like a 20-minute song, and it's probably one of the best songs I've ever written. And
Wow.
it's still sitting in my studio waiting to be released. But one of these days. But enough about me.
Yeah.
Let's. I want to go ahead and play another one of your songs, and it's kind of a cool. I liked it. I put it first, and it's "Ask a Country Song."
Okay.
And
Cool.
tell us a little bit. Lead us into this song.
So I was actually wanting to have a country anthem, and I just started thinking about all the things that, to me, sort of talk about country, what country music is or has been over the decades. And it's kind of changed a little bit, and so I was trying to be inclusive because nowadays there's country in the city, so there's a little bit of that in there too. And it was just like everything. This is what country is. Just ask a country song.
Right. Well, let's check it out. Here's Brenda Cay with "Ask a Country Song."
The Bible won't save us just because we read it, but we have faith and talk to Jesus. On a summer day, you'll find us back porch picking, and Sundays were made for dinner in Mama's kitchen. We are who we are, and we don't apologize, because there's power in these ties that bind. We're whiskey and a hallelujah, 3 chords singing truth. Yeah, back roads and big city lights, helping out friends anytime. We love land and family, and we're all about our liberties. We're loud and proud and strong. Just ask a country song. We wear our boots, some to climb the corporate ladder, others are pedaled down on a John Deere tractor. Some of us hunt for deer, and some hunt for a bargain. Either way, we're both gonna hit a target. We are who we are, and we don't apologize, because there's power in these ties that bind. We're whiskey and a hallelujah, 3 chords singing truth. Yeah, back roads and big city lights, helping out friends anytime. We love land and family, and we're all about our liberties. We're loud and proud and strong. Just ask a country song. You're one of us, you're right where you belong. So get those feet stomping, come on and sing along. Come on. Whiskey and a hallelujah, 3 chords singing truth. Yeah, back roads and big city lights, helping out friends anytime. We love land and family, and we're all about our liberties. We're loud and proud and strong. Just ask a country song. We're loud and proud and strong. Just ask a country song. Just ask a country song.
Yeah. All right. That was Brenda Cay, "Ask a Country Song." Such a great tune, Brenda.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, your songwriting really resonates with a lot of people. I want to say shout out to Kenny Tice, who is a DJ and Nell on Sandcastle Radio. I just saw that Kenny's tuned in, so hey, brother, thanks for tuning in and listening to Brenda. Let's dive into Brenda a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Let's find out, who's Brenda Cay? You're from Chattanooga, or?
Not originally. I grew up on the eastern shore of Maryland and moved to Tennessee, oh gosh, almost 20 years ago.
Right. Single? Married?
Married. I have two kids.
Nice. And what's their names?
My daughter's name is Rachel and my son is Logan.
Nice. I have a grandson, Logan. Hey, Logan.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, that's a good name. They're out in Arizona with their mom and dad.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's where I'm from, Arizona, born and raised, and just kind of, I've been all over the world with the military.
Yeah, we were actually passed through Arizona a few weeks ago. My son lives out in California now, so we were actually on our way out to see him.
Where's he live in California?
Near Irvine. He was in Irvine, and now he's in what's it called, Aliso Viejo, I think.
Yeah, Viejo, Mission Viejo, or Viejo.
Aliso Viejo, I think is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my wife is from the Bay Area.
Yeah, and he works in Irvine, or I think his company's still in Irvine.
Nice. And your daughter?
She is a stay-at-home housewife, and she has 4 kids.
So you got the grandkid wagon going on. Nice.
Yeah, I do have that too. Yep.
I know all about that. I think we have 5. Yeah, like 13.
Wow.
My oldest son has 5. My next oldest son has 5, and my daughter has 2.
Wow. Yeah, you have me beat by a long way.
Oh, I didn't try. They did.
Yeah,
It was all their fault, dang it.
it's all their fault.
Yeah. Oh, and so your husband's there? You're married, or
I'm sorry.
it's just you and your husband at home?
Yeah, just me and my husband and our 3 dogs.
3 dogs. What's your husband's name?
Scott,
Scott. Howdy, Scott.
he's in the other room.
Yeah. So's my wife. She's in the house. Yeah, this is what I do, and this is what you do. I mean, you're an entertainer. I'm an entertainer, and my wife is my biggest fan and critic. But she is more of a live music girl.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband's my biggest fan, and I think, like you said, my biggest critic too. Sometimes it's not as fun. So, I don't know if that's a strong song for you. I don't know.
Oh, but honesty is the best policy, man, because my wife will tell me the same thing. Even when I was in the Keys, Harry, my general manager, my wife and Harry are sitting at a table and did a song, and they both said, don't ever do that song again. I was like, well, thanks. I like the song, but like, no, don't, no.
Yeah, but once they plant that idea in your head, you can never forget that.
No, you hate them for it for years and stuff, but no, I'm kidding.
No, you don't hate them, but every time if you do that song, it's in the back of your head. Like
exactly.
Somebody else might not like it because they didn't like it. So.
No, so do you do it half-heartedly, or do you throw it all into it? And I like to watch the crowd. I think one of the funnest things I have is people that don't know me, and then I open my mouth and they're like, "Whoa," I'm sure it's with you too. They hear you sing, they're like, "Wow, you can sing."
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
It's always fun.
It is very fun, very fun. And my daughter, she's like one of my biggest fans, and I hope she's listening. Canberra's out there in Arizona. They just bought a house out there, and I'm so proud of her. It's cool, kind of a cool story. She came up through the ranks with Walmart and became a store manager, and her husband was beside her taking care of the kids, and he worked odd jobs here and there, and he got a really good job working for Ford Motor Company in Kingman, Arizona as a service writer. And she, when they moved into their new house, she took a step down and became a department head instead of a manager, a store manager. And she said, he was behind me for all these years, and it's my turn to step back and let him have some glory. And I said, you know what? I love you so much, baby, because that's a true mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way Jeanette and I are all the time, man. I'm behind her 100%, and I know that Scott's behind you 100% too. So it's cool. Yeah. It's cool to have mates and children that get behind you. I know you're in Chattanooga, and your kids are. Where's your daughter?
She's actually, she was about 5 minutes down the road until about 2 weeks ago. They moved into Georgia, so she's now about a half hour away, but still close.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes a big difference when you have that support system.
Exactly, especially children. They're always your biggest fans. And so, speaking of fans, I mean, now you're making quite the little wave across, I know, especially you're a new family member of Cruising Country. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And people are getting great reviews from your music, which is always good, always good. And I've got some of your music is on the Cruising Country Top 40. I think 3 of your songs are, and so
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
That's
if you guys are listening, check out the Cruising Country Top 40. Brenda, you can go to www.cruisingcountryradio.com and you can have your friends, family, and fans go there and scroll down till you see the Cruising Country Top 40. Click on it, find your song, and then go down to the bottom and submit. There's a couple days left. I know you're new to the chart, so you go down there and at least vote for your songs or a song. Pick one and vote for it.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had more than one on there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys go to the top 40 countdown, check out Brenda's music, click on it, and give her some love.
Yeah, I appreciate all that.
Yeah. So let's jump into another one of your songs here. It is Better for Me. What is this one of your songs or?
I actually have a co-writer on this one, and it's funny you were talking about all these talented people in Nashville. So I was in Nashville, gosh, I don't even know. It's been probably 7 or 8 years ago. I don't remember. My husband went and I went for a Jerry Reed tribute concert, and we were sitting at 3rd and Lindsley, and this guy walked up and he asked if he could sit with us because they're tables, and
Right.
It fills up in there. So it's like, oh yeah, sure, sit down, and we just start talking. And I said, so what do you do? And he says, oh, I'm a guitar player. And I'm thinking, of course you are. This is of course you're a guitar player. So we just started talking, and that's actually how I met my voice coach, because that was his girlfriend. Well, they're actually engaged now, but
Nice.
We started talking about studios and songwriting, and so we've actually written together a few times. But Better for Me was actually, I think it may have been the first song that we wrote together, and it sat for quite a while. And then last year I was going through stuff and I found that I said, oh, I forgot about this, because when I wrote it, I wasn't actually recording and putting stuff out as an artist. So I was like, oh, I love this song. I'd forgotten all about it. So I pulled it out and I texted him. I said, do you care if I cut this? He says, oh, no, absolutely. Go for it.
It's always nice when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, cut it. Well, you have an amazing voice, so anybody's going to go, no, sorry, don't do that song. Nah, that's not.
Well, I appreciate that.
One musician to another, to the next. I mean, we're all in this for one reason, and it's not ourselves.
Right, exactly.
People, it's all about no, it's not. It's about entertaining. I had a friend of mine ask me, he says, what's the main reason that you're on stage? Why are you there? Who are you there for? And I said, I am there for the people who paid to get in that door to come see me. I said, it's not about my band. It's not about me. It's about us performing to the best of our ability to make sure that group of people that came in here to see us goes away entertained.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, because it's not about, I don't know how to put it this way. It's not about a lot of ego, especially in country music.
And people forget it is a job. I mean, it doesn't mean we don't enjoy it, but it is a job, and there's a certain amount of professionalism that goes into that. And exactly what you said, you want to do the very best you can and give the best show that you can.
Right. Well, you don't want to suck ever, but I mean,
right.
even if you're having a bad day, if you show the folks that you're giving it your all, I mean, there's a couple of shows where my voice is just trashed, and I
oh, sure,
push through it, and and the people come and go, you know what, I liked your show, and I'm like, well, you know what, it's all about you. It's not about me. Thank you so much for showing up. Without you,
exactly.
It's like my band. I tell my band, I says, you know what? It's not about me. I'm not a diva, or whatever they call a male singer.
Yeah,
not diva.
I don't even know if they have.
But
yeah,
Dick, I think.
Have a word.
Yeah, Dick.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. It's all about my band, man. I make sure that my band members are paid before I even take any money. It's just the way I am. I want to. They make me sound good, so I have to treat them with the utmost respect and the most, you know, uh, make sure they're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like set list and songs that you do. You know, if you're doing songs just to play songs, and your band, you look back at your band and they're sleeping, it's the wrong set list.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, yeah.
Because if they're not having a good time, the audience isn't going to have a good time.
No, the other day I talked to my band and my fiddle player Jim Baker. Jim, shout out to you. He's forgotten more about music than probably I'll ever know. And he's like, "Oh no, I just want you to be happy." I said, "Look, here's the thing. If you guys are not happy playing the music, then we're going to change it, because the last thing I want is to have the audience looking up at you and you're asleep at the wheel, you know, just going through the motions. That's not entertaining."
No, that's right.
You know, we want our audiences to come back and we want them to go, "Wow, that was a badass show." You know, and I know you don't do a lot of performing out in the real world. You're more of a songwriter, and
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I was just getting out and performing a little bit, and then COVID hit, and everything shut down, and it's been so hard to get back out since COVID.
man, I was in the Florida Keys. We had just gotten there, and just breaking out into the music scene, and bam, COVID hit, and the Keys is 160. Back then, it was 116 miles of gated community. Because if you didn't have a driver's license or a bill that said you lived there, they turned your butt around and sent you back into Miami.
Wow.
It kind of hurt the economy, but the people that were able to survive, it was kind of a blessing, because during season down there, it's crazy. I don't know if you've ever been down the Keys. It's one road in, one road out, and one day it took us 8 hours to get from Miami to Key West. 8 hours.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you get a chance to go to Key West or the Keys, go out of season, which is it's much nicer.
Yeah.
It's hotter, but you don't have that 8-hour drive down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to get down there, but we'll see when we get a chance to do that.
I really want to come to Nashville next year for the CMA Fest.
Yeah, and that's another one. It's going to be really crowded.
Yeah, I want to. Well, I've been really fortunate that Ablaze Management has been throwing a lot of artists my way, and they're really big in Nashville. And I'd like to do a partner up with Cruise and Country Radio and Ablaze Management, and just kind of do live shows there. You know, so if you get a chance next year, I'll holler at you. You know, you come out to Nashville and
absolutely,
I'm sure we can get you on stage. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about CMA Fest. I mean, they have obviously the big headlining artists, but you find so many of the up and coming artists that are playing, you know, on the side streets and just everywhere else around Nashville during CMA Fest. So it's really cool to get to
see that
CMA Fest. And I meet a lot of people.
40 years ago, I went to Nashville. I just got out of the Navy. And I was in a cover rock band, and we were pretty darn hot. We almost got to audition for Kenny Rogers. We're talking back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I said, "Screw this. I got out of the Navy, and I'm going to Nashville." Wow. What a shock. Holy crap. I went by myself, and it was just like I had to run away from Nashville. It was scary as heck. But I was 20-something years old, you know, didn't know a soul. But now I think Nashville would be kind of cool to go over there and do my radio show there.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
You know, and I'm more the original country artist, not the mainstream country artist. I mean, it'd be great to interview and stuff like that, but I want to see that my up and coming original artist, I want to see them out there, and I want to see them thrive. And that's why I said, if you come there next year, I know I'm going to go there. Jeanette and I are going to fly out there. We have nothing but, you know, time. So yeah, it'll be fun. Well, enough. Let's get back into your music here, because we're just rambling, but I like rambling, and I like getting to know you too. Let's see. We did Better For Me, right?
We didn't play it yet, but we did talk about it.
Yeah, Better For Me. So let's just, without further ado, Here's Brenda and Better for Me.
I had the radio playing on a cross-country drive. Nothing but heartache in barrooms and whiskey and tearful goodbyes. Every story brought you back to my mind, till I wanted to turn that car around, head back to the broken down house where you left me crying. But I changed the station to something upbeat. I heard blues from Memphis, jazz from New Orleans, southern rock from Georgia, and bluegrass from Tennessee. Sad songs were good for us. Anything else is better for me. Then I stopped for a drink at a roadside dive. There was a pink boombox on the counter playing I Will Survive. I started to break down. It was a little too much. So I ignored the handwritten sign that said, "Do not touch." And I changed the station to something upbeat. I heard blues from Memphis, jazz from New Orleans, southern rock from Georgia, and bluegrass from Tennessee. Sad songs were good for us. Anything else is better for me. The day's gonna come when you'll realize you were wrong, and be reminded of our love by the lines in a song. Don't sing along. Just change the station to something upbeat. You'll hear blues from Memphis, jazz from New Orleans, southern rock from Georgia, and bluegrass from Tennessee. You'll think sad songs were good for us. Anything else is better for me. Yeah, you're gonna see sad songs were good for us. Anything else is better for me.
All right. Nice song. I like that song.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. It's a kind of cool song.
Yeah, when we sat down to start working on that, it was my friend Brian's idea to like change the tempo on it, and I was like, "Ooh, I like."
Yeah, yeah. Was it slower?
Well, I mean, the verses are at the one tempo, and then he's like, "We can double time it on the choruses," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that."
Yeah, it kind of puts a little more snap into it, and
Yeah, it does.
it brings it to life. Yeah. So I just got a text from Harry, my GM. He says, "Sounds awesome." So we're doing good.
Oh, good.
But, yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. Your music sounds amazing. So it's an easy gig right here. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah,
It's always good to have the endorsement from Harry too.
yeah. You know what? He's been doing this a long time, and I'm thankful that he's given me the chance to do this because I have a blast. I think the biggest compliment, not compliment, or just thing he said was, just relax and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do. There's no reason to panic if we have technical difficulties. We have technical difficulties, and That's the way it goes. That's radio. That's live radio. That's what I like about
I was
live
going to
radio.
say, there's not a radio station on the planet that hasn't had technical difficulties at some point.
Oh my God, yeah. And I usually play the wrong song at the right time. It's like, oops. And I realized that at about 4 bars in, and go, oh crap, that's the wrong song. I nonchalantly just change it and don't ever save it.
Yeah.
Now I just told myself, dang it. Oh well. Let's just jump into another one of your songs. Do or Die. Give us a little lead into Do or Die.
Yeah, that's a different song. So I actually wrote that for a male vocalist, and it had a slightly different title. It was called Rodeo and Juliet.
Rodeo and Juliet?
Rodeo and Juliet, yeah.
Nice.
And it was cut by a local artist, and then I don't know, it's just always been a song that I really liked, and I thought, oh, I'd love to make it a song that a female artist could sing, that I could sing. And so I was like, how can I do that? And so I kind of made it into a song that it's like, instead of it being the guy in love with the girl, I just made it about, a mom and a daughter thing. And I thought, oh, that definitely works. And it's kind of cool. And when I wrote that song originally, I actually was online making sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure there are female bull riders, but I don't really follow that aspect of rodeo. Like I've seen rodeo, and I've definitely seen male bull riders, and I've seen, the barrel races with the horses, and you watch all that stuff, but I don't know if I'd ever seen a female bull rider. So I was Googling it, and I was like, oh, there really are, and there are some really impressive ones.
Yes.
Out there. And so I was like, yeah, cool. I need to write this song because it's something that I don't think anyone else has written about. So I sat down and I started writing it, and it just, like I said, it was one of my favorite songs. And so I just, rewrote it a little bit so that I could sing it myself.
Well, that's the whole thing, right?
That's the whole thing.
I'll tell you, short story long. I rodeoed 25 years. I rode bulls, bucking horses, and I was a bullfighter rodeo clown. And I've seen my share of female bull riders. But I've been looking at reels down here, reels on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
There are some impressive bull riders, especially female bull riders down here in Mexico.
Definitely.
I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
Definitely. And it was interesting. One of them that I followed since I wrote this, she was doing a reel, but she was showing you kind of like how to learn how they start out. So they're like on a barrel that's I don't know what you call it, like almost like a seesaw. And somebody sits there and they move it forward and back, and she was saying, how, like, if it's going whichever way, and I don't remember, but you would lean forward, or if it's the other way, you would lean back, and they practice that because when you're on the bull and it's going so fast, you have to have that muscle memory to instinctively know whether you're supposed to lean forward or back. And I thought, I never thought about all of that, all the mechanics of how it all really works.
Absolutely. So do you ride horses, or are you a city girl?
I have ridden. I don't really ride. We had horses growing up, though. They were standard bred, so you didn't ride. They were race horses that, for people that are familiar with standard breds, that pull the cart behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So we had race horses, and we did have a pony that we could ride. She was a stubborn little thing, but we had fun riding sometimes. But no, I don't ride a lot anyway.
Yeah, I gave it up. Too expensive.
Yeah,
I had horses all my life, and
yeah, they do get expensive there, and like anything, you got to take care of, and
yeah,
it's not like a dog that you can just keep in the house.
And feed Purina and water. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. When Jeanette and I got married 20 years ago, I had 4 horses and 6 dogs, and she had 1 horse.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was team roping at the time, so I had a heel horse, a head horse, and then a couple other horses. It just my pleasure riding horses, and oh my goodness. And then we moved to Northern California and had a barn with 18 stalls, and we boarded horses. And you know what? I am so glad that I'm not doing that any longer. Man, the feed bill, the feed bills are crazy. And
it's so much work.
So
much work to take care of them.
Well, let's listen to Do or Die. It's about a female bull rider. I didn't know that. So, all right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, all right. I like that song. That's really a
Oh,
kick-ass song.
thank you.
And what's the girl's name?
In the song, her name is Juliet.
Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rodeo and Juliet. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
my hat's off to anybody that gets on those critters. I
Oh,
did it
for
when I was
sure.
younger, and I had a screw loose. I've always been a little crazy. Thrill seeker, I guess. I don't know. Jeez.
I mean, you have to be to get on there and do that. Oof.
It's just the way I was raised. My dad goes, "Hey, man, you want to go ride bulls?" I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" We hunted and fished, and he goes, "Well, here's something that's really cool." This is
Yeah,
back
doing
in
bricks and bones.
1973. Yeah, let's go do this. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. It's like breaking bones and
You know, the silliest things. I broke some ribs at a sheriff's posse rodeo. I was rodeo clown there, and a deputy got bucked off, and the stock hunter told him, says, if you fall off, just lay there. And it was like, oh my crap. And he did, and this bull was a fighting bull, and I stepped in between him, and he hit me in the side and broke two of my ribs. And
yeah, I mean that's the thing people don't realize. The rodeo clown actually is one of the more dangerous. It might be more dangerous than riding the bull.
no, you know what, putting your hand in that rope and jumping on their back, and that to me was a little more dangerous to me. I thought, because at least when I'm on the ground, I know where I'm going, and the bull doesn't. You know,
That's true.
when you're riding, you know, you try and outguess what the bull's going to do, and he already knows what he's going to do.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's a guessing game. But when you're on the ground, my favorite thing was watching for the cowboys, and once they got in trouble, and it's called being hung up when your hand gets stuck in a rope. That was my forte. I went for the guy and got him loose from the bull. That was my rush. You know.
Yeah.
I found out a long time ago that I was okay at bull riding, but I wasn't good enough to just really do it. But I was really a lot better bullfighter than I was a rider. So you learn not to donate. Yeah, you don't want to donate your money to everybody. Just because you say I'm a bull rider. Well, nah, I like to win. But anyway, that's an awesome song.
Thank you.
And I want to put a shout out there that this show is being recorded live, and you can find my podcast, The Dave Roush Show, on YouTube. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go into post, and I will get it tagged and ready to rock and roll, and put it out, and it'll be out tomorrow, maybe on YouTube. And then it will rebroadcast on Sunday. Harry will put it on at 8 o'clock Eastern time, so you can have all your friends and family listen back and do that, and then that's kind of cool. And there's 2 days left. Today's the 29th, right? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, there's 2 days left to go to the top 40, Cruising Country top 40, and vote. So tell all your fans, Brenda, get out there and vote on your song. It's not too late.
Yeah.
I mean, at least get you up in there a little bit, and then on the first, I do my show. It's a 3-hour show, and hopefully you make it in there, and we'll be playing your songs.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's
nice. The first time I did it, I had my song "Sunny Side of Paradise." It started out. It broke out at 38, I think, and I only had like 4 days, so it's kind of cool. I got into the top 40, and it went as far as 12, and you know what? It's backed up, and that's just cool. I was just amazed that it's still on the radio.
Yeah,
being played. Harry's a great guy. Well, we've got one more song. Let's look at it. And I think you know what it is. Reason to Cry.
Reason to Cry, yeah.
So tell me about Reason to Cry.
So interestingly that you played those two songs, the last song first, because I had actually entered. That song was actually, like I said, it was written for a male vocalist. I'd entered Rodeo and Juliet in a song contest, and it actually won, which shocked me because I never win anything. But it won, and I won a chance to co-write with Trey Bruce, who is a phenomenal songwriter. He's written numerous top 5, top 10, definitely top 20. I mean, mainstream country songs.
Nice.
For Randy Travis. I mean, he's written for so many. Carrie Underwood. Gosh, I don't even know. Trace Adkins. He's produced Leonard Skinner. I think he produced Trace Adkins as well. Rebecca Lynn Howard. So many names.
So that's kind of a heck of a thing.
What's that?
So that's kind of a heck of a deal.
Oh, it was amazing. So I got to go to Nashville and write with Trey, and the song we wrote was "Reason to Cry." So for me, it was just such an amazing experience, and he was so down to earth and humble, and it was just an awesome experience to go write with him. And we came out with a song that I absolutely loved when we got done with it. So it was just such a great experience.
Awesome. Well, let's check it out. Here we go. Reason to Cry.
When I need a good excuse to strawberry swirl at 1 a.m., a glass of wine or two, I remind myself how smart I am. A reason to crush on some guy, fill his pretty head full of lies. I can bend the truth as far as it takes to justify my favorite mistakes. But when I need a reason to cry, I don't have to dig deep. Pain's easy to reach on the surface all the time. When I wanna hurt, all the reasons begin to blur. I don't have to look far to break my own heart. All I have to do is think about you. Think about you. Maybe I could argue that you were pretty good for me at first. Cute boy in a baseball cap, faithful up until you weren't. I was high on the mirrors and smoke, strung out like a star on a rope. I can bend the truth as far as it takes to justify my worst mistakes. But when I need a reason to cry, I don't have to dig deep. Pain's easy to reach on the surface all the time. When I wanna hurt, all the reasons begin to blur. I don't have to look far to break my own heart. All I have to do is think about you. Think about you. And I've got a reason to cry. I can move the earth to convince myself you were almost worth all that hell. But when I need a reason to cry, I don't have to dig deep. Pain's easy to reach on the surface all the time. When I wanna hurt, all the reasons begin to blur. I don't have to look far to break my own heart. All I have to do is think about you. Oh, when I need a reason to cry, I think about you.
Wow. Brenda, thank you so much for hanging out with us and giving us a little bit of your story and playing, getting to play some of your songs.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And maybe I can get you back on
Yeah.
the show to do more.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
I said I'd like to have you back on the show again and do some more of your songs, some of your new stuff coming up.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All
Great
right.
time.
All right. Well, hang on right there. I'll get right back with you. Let me close the show up. To my listeners, Harry T, Justin Wright, I saw in there, Kenny and Nell, thank you so much for listening to the Dave Roush Show. And remember that you can see the podcast on YouTube, The Dave Roush Show. And if you like what you're doing, you can always check out the Patreon app on A1A Productions. On behalf of the Dave Roush Show, thanks and stay tuned. Bye-bye. All right, we're off here.
Oh, you're okay. So, God, I'm trying to be quiet.
Are you there,
Yeah, I'm still here.
Brenda?
Hello? You there?
Brenda.
Hello?
Did you hang up?
No, I'm here.